Hi everybody, welcome back to Geezer Rider, and this is the final installment in the heated gear segment as far as the review is concerned. So what I've done here, I don't own a mannequin obviously, but I've mocked up as best we can all the components that we have: the heated jacket, the heated pants, the heated insoles that we reviewed, and the gloves. And obviously, you know, everything's just kind of hanging here and everything, and it's good. I'm going to be in and out of frame and in and out of the way, but if you bear with me, you'll get a lot of good information regarding this. So basically what I've decided is to keep it as simple as possible for this segment. And what I decided to do was make everything work off the dual heat troller that we were talking about, with the exception of the pants, which have their own controller. Here's the button we reviewed in the video for the heated pants, and they're obviously going to need their own power. So our first order of business is to get power over to the garments, and that's going to be supplied off this 12-volt battery I have here that's mimicking the motorcycle battery. The only difference is going to be I need a power Y harness. We talked about that in one of the other videos, so I can split separate power off, separate battery power off to the pants, because these are more or less autonomous, right? So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll connect the Y harness here, and we'll connect power to the input of the dual heat troller, the remote receiver, which is this red connector. And then we also know we're going to need power off the other Y connector to the pants. And that's the feed coming up out of this pocket right here. Ignore this one for just a moment. So again, this is a lot of wires. This is a lot to unpack. You're probably going to want to rewind and, you know, review this a couple of times to follow along. What I've done is run a Y cable down each pant leg to the heated insoles in the shoes. And the reason for that is, again, that these pants don't have that cuff. So there's a wire running down inside the pant leg on either leg up to this Y cable. And it won't always be up here at the top of the waistband. I just put it here for simplicity's sake for the moment. Obviously I would, you know, have it off to one side or something. And obviously there's plenty of extra length here. You know, I've just got things mocked up. So if you're wearing some thin Under Armour type thing underneath of here, I don't think that wire is going to bother you, but I'm proving out that all the components I selected can work together, and then you can choose to use or not use the heated footwear as well. So we're coming along. We got powered our heat controller. We know we want to power the jacket, and we're going to have the jacket and the gloves be separate. So we are going to send power to the jacket itself. So for the sake of argument, we'll make that red. The jacket power is going to be red. And then the gloves, which are going to be a pass-through, are going to be going to the yellow controller, right? So now our gloves and our jacket on separate power feeds, and the accessory feed, if you remember from the jacket video, we said this is going to be putting out the accessory power, the yellow cable that's inside the jacket, the yellow heat shrink that says accessory on it, and that is going to provide the same power, the same heat level from the heat troller as is going to the jacket, which we said, I believe, was going to be red for the purposes of this demonstration. So what we've done is we've now connected battery power. I've got the battery out of frame, but here's the power supply. We've got the 12-volt supply split in two different directions. One is the connection to the pants coming out of this top pocket here. And I don't have this zippered closed. You can obviously make this a lot less obtrusive than the way it sits right now. But there's power to that. And this would come down from inside your jacket. You'd barely see that on the bike. You know, it wouldn't get caught up in your belly as you're trying to ride. So then the pants at that point are all autonomous, right? We've got power. We can turn them on by pressing and holding this controller that we saw in the other video. There's red for high, amber for medium, high, green for medium low, and blue for absolute low, and that's where the lowest current draw was. I'm just going to leave that on low for right now. So the pants are fully powered. The other part of the Y connector is providing a 12-volt supply to the heat troller's receiver. Remember, this is the part that's going to stay in the jacket all the time. So you get off and walk around, this thing's still inside the jacket. And that, as we said before, the red is connected to the jacket feed. That's this white heat shrink wire. Why they didn't label that one, I don't know. And the yellow one's going to the gloves. So I can independently control the temperature of the gloves. They might need a little more or a little less heat. Again, you know, depending on how your fairing is or if you have one at all. You got a lot more wind going over your hands. You might need to crank the heat up a little more. So we turn it on. We get a flashing red indicating, yeah, I see you. I'm going to adjust the temperature. We turn on yellow, which is going to be, in this case, our glove power. Again, it says, yeah, I see you. It's responding in kind with the flashing lights, and everything's starting to roll. This ammeter connection, again, I think I said before, this was a pretty cheesy little meter, but you get the general idea. The highest amperage you're seeing here is well under 10 amps, more in the vicinity of 7 or 8 amps. The last time I did this, I turned the heat down to where everything was feeling warm and comfy, not too hot, and we were right about the 7 amp mark. So the takeaway from that was, for my vehicle, my motorcycle has a 15 amp overall accessory capacity, which is pretty hefty. It's getting to be more common as time goes on, but that's a lot of power. So that means I have 8 amps that I can use for other things. And I already have other things on the bike drawing power, auxiliary lights, you know, a couple of stereo components and Bluetooth components that are drawing power. You know, I might be recharging a little USB rechargeable flashlight in my tour pack somewhere. I might have my phone plugged in. So what that tells me is that I can run my heated gear, at least on low, well within limits. And because it's 10 amps or under, I can use this and plug into the fairing, which is a 10 amp circuit, and this has a 10 amp fuse. You don't want to run a 10 amp draw through a 10 amp fuse. It's going to fatigue. It's eventually going to burn out. So we're at 7, 8, 9 amps. That's plenty. I can use this to, you know, just discreetly unplug it from the bike, tuck it in the pocket, and away I go. And when I hop back on, plug it into the jacket, or even leave it connected to the, you know, the power supply and put it in one of the pockets in the jacket. Very nice. Nobody has to know you have it. You can hide the heat troller somewhere on, you know, the bike. Nobody has to see it or lock it up, or even put it in your pocket and walk away. So, you know, again, I'm looking here, it should be settling down as things warm up and it realizes its heat equalization. And I don't ever see any spikes in excess of 9 amps. I don't know why the display is so spazzy it is, but if I had to guess an average, I'd say between 6 and 8.5 amps. So again, we're well within range, everybody. And that's about it for all the heated gear. We're going to do a review after we've gone through the, it's late fall now, basically. In the mid-Atlantic area, I'm going to ride through the winter on the days that are safe to ride on, you know, no snow or ice, no persistent snow or ice or black ice, and early spring. So, you know, get some miles on all this stuff, some more miles on it. Get it out there in the cold in a variety of conditions. It's going to be a couple of days in the spring where, you know, it gets pretty warm during the day, but it's cold in the early morning or cold at night on the ride home. You know, how does that work out? Are you too hot? Are you too cold, etc.? What I decide to do for base layers or not, things like that. And where I land with the heated insoles. You know, we're going to continue to use this Y adapter here, or am I going to use that separate Synergy heat troller and just run, get another Y harness So I'll have 2 Y harnesses and run separate power over to that. That also is an option. It's just another heat controller to fuss with. Seems a little overly complex, and the more I thought about it, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, the more it made sense to just at least try it this way, and obviously simplify things for you folks in the amount of connections we have here, which is already quite a bit. If you like the video, you know, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of the videos and be alerted when they get posted, please subscribe. And as always, you're welcome to leave comments or suggestions, and we'll try to look at them and incorporate them into future videos. Ride safe. Namaste.